Hello, my name is Snorf and I'm bringing you a Nintendo Direct Roundup video. Yesterday there was a Nintendo Direct. Before getting into this video, what I will say is that this video might be orientated to the European audience. So what I will do is I will leave a link to both the Direct in America and Direct over here in Europe in the description for you guys to check out, just in case you guys missed out on it. And I do believe that I do mention quite a lot of American release dates, but for some games I might not talk about the American release dates. So if you guys want to find out more about that game, then you can just click on the Direct that is relevant to your region. So let's just kick off this Direct roundup by starting off with what Nintendo started off with. And that's what we'll be doing in this video. I'll be going through the order that Nintendo showed us, basically. So they started off showing Smash Bros, and they showed off a new trailer, and in that trailer basically Little Mac from the Punch Out series got announced as a playable character, and I must admit that trailer was absolutely kick-ass. It really was kick-ass. I absolutely enjoyed watching it, and I can't wait to use Little Mac in the next Smash Bros game. I have made a separate video about that, so if you want to, see that video, then I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. Unfortunately, we still don't have a release date for Smash Bros. We just have a general 2014 release date for the next Smash Bros. Game. For my personal opinion, we'll probably get that game autumn time, in time for Christmas and all that sort of stuff. That's just my general feeling. And then after that, after Smash Bros., they just flipping went ham on 3DS pretty much. This Direct was pretty much a Nintendo 3DS Direct pretty much. At the start, yesterday they said, right, this Direct is going to be announcing spring games for Wii U and 3DS. So I'm going to talk about my thoughts about the Direct at the end. Let's just kick off the 3DS stuff with Mario Golf World Tour. They talked about the Castle Club single player mode where you can play as your Mii. You can train at the Castle Club and customize your Mii's gear to suit your look and play style. Each piece of gear has different stats. So like one golf club is better at driving or better at distance, whatever. They each have different stats. Kind of adds an RPG element to the game. In Castle Club you got training tournaments where you have to play one tournament to unlock the other, which is kind of cool. And unlocks are all included in Castle Club. Now this game's coming out on the 2nd of May 2014 for Europe and America. It's the same release date. Nintendo then showed off Kirby Triple Deluxe. It's showing off new abilities, 8-bit keychains, which you can actually earn through Streetpass. I'll be talking about that in a minute, and other collectibles, some of which can be collected through Streetpass, which I said earlier. If the person you've met doesn't own the game, they pop up in the game and give you a collectible, but you get a different type of collectible if the person that you Streetpassed has Kirby Triple Deluxe, which is kind of cool. And this game is coming out on the 2nd of May in America and the 16th of May over here in Europe. They then shown off Yoshi's new island. There's no time limit on levels, but if Yoshi gets hit by an enemy, Yoshi and Baby Mario separate, and you basically have 10 seconds to get Baby Mario on your back, and then that's it, game over. They're showing off some new power-ups for the game. One of which is a metal egg dozer, which is like a massive egg which goes rolling through the level, taking out green pipes. This is also effective underwater as well. You're then showing off flutter wings where you can fly above the ground level, but that power up only appears depending on how well you've done on that level. So if you've made a lot of mistakes, then I don't think the flutter wings will appear for you in the Yoshi game. You're then showing off Super Yoshi mode, which is kind of like a star in the Mario platformers, where you run super quick. You can run on top of walls and all of that. There's also another power up where you can turn into a jackhammer or submarine, which are both controlled by the 3DS gyroscope. And this game's coming out on the 14th of March for America and Europe. Now I'm covering these 3DS games quite quickly, just because I'm not sure if you guys are interested in 3DS. Like I said at the start, if you want to find out more about any of these games, then look at the top of the description and you should see the link to both the Nintendo Direct over in America and Nintendo Direct over in Europe. So they then talked about a first-person shooter for the 3DS called Steel Dive Sub Wars, which is a tactical FPS with 4v4 team battles, local and online. But this FPS is a little bit different. You control submarines and shoot torpedoes. I would have called it a contemplative FPS. It's not going to be fast-paced. You have to be smart and strategic with movement and firing missiles. Now you can play for free on the 3DS eShop, but you only get 2 submarines to use online, and you only get 2 single-player missions. There is a premium version that you can buy, which gives you all the submarines that you can use to go online, and you get full access to all 7 single-player missions. That is available now, so if you guys want to download the free version, then you can download it from the 3DS eShop. They then talked about Pokemon Link Battle or Pokemon Battle Trozei, which is its American name. It's pretty much Connect 4 with Pokemon. These sort of games don't really interest me. I'm a little bit of a Pokemon fan. I'm getting back into the series, but for me, only the Pokemon RPG games are interesting. None of the others, like this one, doesn't really interest me that much, if I'm being honest with you. And this game's coming out the 13th of March in Europe and the 20th of March in America. And I do believe that might just be an eShop only game, so it's not going to be retail. The next game that they're showing off for the 3DS was Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Basically, the Layton dev talked about the collaboration, and he said that he always wanted to do the collaboration, even though Phoenix Wright is the main rival to the Layton series, and that game's coming out March 28th in Europe. They then talked about a game, this is just a America game now, Rusty's Real Deal Baseball, coming out this April on 3DS eShop for free. I do believe that there is like a premium version where you can negotiate the price. I heard a little bit about that for a podcast that I'm currently watching right now, but I'm not exactly sure about the full details about that. So if you guys want to find more details about that, then like I said many times before in this video, make sure you guys click on that first link in the description. They then talked about Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. It's been announced for Europe and America, which is coming early 2015. This news has already been announced. Don't see why they covered it in this direct. Now this game now is a Europe only game, it seems like, and that game is Nintendo Pocket Football Club, which is kind of like Football Manager for the 3DS. It's exclusively on 3DS eShop from the 17th of April over here in Europe. And basically, one of the cool features about this game is that a website will be set up with Nintendo Pocket Football Club, so you can check your stats and see who has the best teams around the world, which is actually kind of cool. It's an element that does interest me. I am a massive fan of football management games. I basically grew up on them. I've played LMA Manager on the PS2, and I've played Football Manager on the PSP, and I also played Football Director, which was another football management game for the Nintendo DS. Now I must admit, I prefer the Football Director game, because unlike this game doesn't have any of the licenses to the players, the football clubs, the leagues. It's just all completely made up, which is kind of disappointing. It's really disappointing in my opinion. You can actually give friends players locally. So say like if somebody wants your striker, you can give your striker to them, but you still have that striker as you only just send a duplicate to that player. Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy is due out February 28th in America. I do believe that game's already come out over here in Europe. They then talked about another game called Shop De Omasse, which is the final missing Guild 01, or I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it, but Guild game. It's an RPG where you have to make weapons for heroes. Sometimes in RPGs, when you're the hero, you go into weapon shops and you buy your weapons. This is a little bit of a twist on that, where you have to make the weapons yourself, or you're like the weapon shop guy and you have to make the weapons for the heroes. And if the heroes fail, then you don't get paid, pretty much. And 6 games from level 5 go on sale at, well, it's already on sale now, and that is from £2.69. So 6 games from level 5, £2.69 on the 3DS eShop until the 23rd of February. I'm not exactly sure about the release date for. I've missed out on the release date for Shop De Omasse. That's coming out on the 20th of February for America and Europe. Inazuma 11, which is a football RPG game, has hit the US eShop. I do believe it's on the European eShop as well. They then talked about another game called Etrian Odyssey Untold, the Millennium Guard, which is coming to Europe on May the 2nd, demo coming out on April the 18th. And I think this might be the last 3DS news. There's going to be a new 3DS Special Edition, which is basically a Yoshi Special Edition, which is coming out on the same date as Yoshi's New Island, which is the 14th of March. So they've done this special edition to go alongside the release of Yoshi's New Island on the 3DS. Now on to the Wii U news. They're showing off Child of Light, which is an RPG from Ubisoft. Probably one of the last Ubisoft games that we'll be seeing. That is going to be hitting the Wii U eShop on the 1st of May. And that's 1st of May in Europe, 30th of April in America. They're then showing off a new Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze trailer. I think we've seen so many trailers for this game now, it's unbelievable. That game is coming out February 21st for America and Europe. Now on to a new release for the Wii U. It is NES Remix 2 or NES Remix 2. It features new challenges from Super Mario Bros. 3, Kirby's Adventure, Metroid, and also features remix stages from each game. There's many more games that are featuring in this NES Remix 2. They're just some of them. There's also Super Luigi Brothers, which is Super Mario Brothers. It's got all the Super Mario Brothers stage from the NES, but it's backwards. So you have to play it backwards. You have to play it from right to left instead of left to right, which is kind of weird. It also includes Luigi's high jump or special high jump ability, which is exclusive to Luigi. And that is coming out on the 25th of April on the eShop for Europe and America. The next Wii U news is that Game Boy Advance games will start to arrive on the Wii U Virtual Console in America. Some Game Boy Advance games that are coming out are Metroid Fusion, Mario and Luigi Superstars, Yoshi's Island, and more. Personally, I did own a Game Boy Advance, but I pretty much used my Game Boy Advance as a Pokemon machine. That's pretty much what I used it as. And I actually have sold all my Pokemon games, so I was hoping that some Pokemon Game Boy Advance games will be hitting the Wii U Virtual Console, but it's looking like that, straight away we won't be seeing any of the Pokemon Game Boy Advance games, which is a bit unfortunate. Hopefully we will see that in the future, and probably we might see these same games coming out for the 3DS as well. So I just actually lost where I am on my notes. Right, the next showing off Mario Kart 8. They're showing a new trailer for Mario Kart 8, which shows new tracks, new vehicles, and one of which is the Wiggler Kart, which looks kind of cool. And they're showing off some new characters as well. Bowser's Koopalings, there's 7 of them, will be playable characters. So if you don't know, Bowser's Koopalings are his kids basically. So that's 7 new characters. I probably might show off the trailer on my channel in a Mario Kart 8 discussion video that will be coming up on my channel soon. But the trailer did look pretty good. The tracks that they're showing off look absolutely amazing. I can't wait to play this game. This game is coming out on the 30th of May for Europe and America, which is practically June, pretty much. This is practically a June game. This game should have been released April at the latest, not in flipping June. I'm just going to go on to the Wii U news, the rest of the Wii U news, and then I'll be talking about the Wii U as a whole at the end and my thoughts on the Direct. So let's just get on with the rest of the news. The next showing off X, they're showing off some new gameplay, which showing off some uncut battle gameplay. So in the battle, you can switch from sword to minigun to mech. It looks as though you'll be swapping between mechs in ground combat, depending on the size of your enemies. So in the trailer, it's showing off first of you the character using a sword, then it switched to a minigun, then it jumped into a mech and started shooting stuff in the mech, which looked absolutely cool. And the game's battle system is based on the one in Xenoblade Chronicles, but with even more polish. So I'm personally looking forward to this game. But I guess the biggest news to come out of this regarding X is that Iwata failed to mention that this game is coming out in 2014. He said, "Stay tuned for more information." Previously, this game is scheduled to come out this year, but in this Direct, they have failed to say that this game is coming out in 2014, whereas with every single game that they've mentioned and regarding Wii U, they've said 2014, or in Mario Kart 8's case, 30th of May. So I think this game could get pushed back to 2015, which means that the Wii U's already barren lineup of games will look even more bare. So that's just, one little bit of doubt for me. The fact that he failed to mention that this game was coming out in 2014, for me, signals the fact that this game might get pushed back into 2015, which is really disappointing, to be honest with you, if that is the case. But the last thing they're showing off in this Nintendo Direct is Bayonetta 2. They're showing off a new trailer for it. The game looks absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to play this game. And this game is coming out in 2014. They just gave a general release date. And that was pretty much the end of Nintendo Direct. So I'm just going to give you my thoughts on Nintendo Direct. I thought that the pacing of this Direct, they got it all wrong. They should have started this Direct with 3DS games, and then they should have moved on to Wii U games. They should have shown off Donkey Kong, or they should have shown Child of Light first, then shown a brief trailer for Donkey Kong, saying that this game is coming out next week, and then move on to X, Bayonetta 2, Mario Kart 8, and then end it on the Little Mac announcement. That would have built hype. Whereas with this layout, you went from sky high with Little Mac, then you went to 3DS news. So your hype was getting lower, 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 and even more lower. And then you went Child of Light, another Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze trailer. We've got so many of those trailers, it seems like. It seems like Nintendo releasing Donkey Kong trailers every week, it seems like now. And then it went to, what was it, Mario Kart, or no, it went to NES Remix, and then Game Boy Advance. So it kind of, for me, the hype went a little bit low, and then it went to Mario Kart 8, went quite high, and X, and then Bayonetta 2, kind of like the same level. So I think the pacing of this Direct was all wrong. I think they spent way too long talking about 3DS games. They need to start concentrating on the Wii U. It's like, right, let's just talk about the Wii U now. It's like, now, we've got a massive drought from Donkey Kong in February to Mario Kart 8 in pretty much June. Mario Kart 8 is pretty much a summer game. They said that this game's coming out in spring. The fact that it's coming out on May the 30th is practically borderline summer, pretty much. So a lot of people, they might pick up the game on May the 30th, but they won't play it until the Saturday, until June the 1st. So it is pretty much a summer game when you think about it, Mario Kart 8. We've got pretty much nothing in terms of first party from Donkey Kong up to Mario Kart 8. And that is a massive drought, that is. That will harm the Wii U sales. The Wii U will not pick up momentum just because there's no new first party games coming out in that period of time. You know, it's just, they need to start releasing games on a more consistent basis so that the Wii U can build up hype. I think this shows how much Nintendo have struggled to develop games for the HD generation. This is the first time that they're doing it. They are struggling, and the fact that third party games have pretty much left the system has pretty much made Nintendo's weakness to deliver HD games on a consistent basis even more evident. If there was third party games coming out, then you wouldn't really notice it that much. I think Nintendo, they should basically bring in more Wii U games in these directs, because they only basically show off first party titles or titles where they publish them, like Monolith Soft's X and Bayonetta 2. Personally, I think we should see Bayonetta, the original one, come out for the Wii U as well. That's just my opinion on that. But they should bring in games like Lego The Hobbit, Project Cars, Fast Racing Neo. You know, it's like last year, they didn't even show third party games over here in Europe. They didn't show the fact that Assassin's Creed is coming out, or Assassin's Creed 4 came out, Deus Ex. You know, they never even shown off the third party games last year. Not doing the same this time around. They didn't show off Lego the Movie, Lego the Lego Hobbit game. You know, it's just, in these directs they pretty much only show off their games, and there's a reason why third party games don't sell that well on the Wii U. Many people don't even know that they exist, pretty much. So I think they need to start showing third party games in these directs, like the Lego Hobbit, which I should have shown off in this video, because then it would make the drought seem less harsh, if you know what I mean. It's just, you know, my E3 thoughts at this moment in time is that we'll be seeing X again, Bayonetta 2 again, Smash again, but in terms of games that will get announced at E3, when will we actually see those games? You know, it's because X got announced last E3, or last January, I do believe, and Bayonetta 2 got announced last E3, but we still haven't got those games. You know, it's just the Wii U's lineup this year is looking really, really bare at this moment in time. It's just, I don't know, it's just there's hardly any games coming out. But the drought doesn't really affect me that much because I still have a lot of games to catch up on. But for people who've already bought those games, there's hardly any new games coming out. I can't see the Wii U building up any momentum at all. I think the Wii U sales will continue to be low, pretty much, until Mario Kart 8 comes out. I think from May onwards, then you'll see a steady stream of games. But for the first half of this year, the Wii U is pretty much only getting 2 first party games, and that is Donkey Kong and Mario Kart 8. I think in this direct they talked about stuff that we already knew about. There was hardly anything new. It's like we already knew that Monster Hunter 4 was going to be coming out for the 3DS over here in Europe and America in early 2015. They didn't really need to mention it in this direct. It's like when he announced it, they said that they'll be announcing games for Wii U and 3DS for spring 2014. Well, for Wii U, there's hardly any games announced for spring 2014. most of the games that they're showing off just got a 2014 release date. So yeah, I probably might talk about the Wii U and the drought and all of that sort of stuff in separate commentaries, but that's pretty much all I have to talk about in this video. And I'll basically we'll see you in the next video, guys. It's going to be a Wii Remote sniping montage. So I hope you guys enjoy that video. It's going to be like a Wii Remote highlight video, kind of like my Counter-Strike source videos. Just let me know your thoughts about this Direct in the comment section below. I must apologise about the fact that I was kind of stuttering a bit in the past 5 minutes. I'm proper tired, so that might explain the fact that I'm stuttering quite a bit. So hope you guys enjoyed this video nonetheless. Hope you guys found this video useful. But I'm out of here for now. Goodbye.